Guys, we're going to jump right into it. Today's topic is dealing with it, or what it means to have an accepted offer, whether for a buyer and seller. I'll go over both, but they really do tie into each other. If I'm talking about the buyer, it's the reverse for a seller, but we'll go over both of them. So when you have an accepted offer, what does it mean? Let's start with the buyers first. So when you're a buyer, you send an offer on a home, you go back and forth, negotiate all of your terms and subjects. Once you've, let's just say this, unless the contract is subject free, which in this day and age it shouldn't be. A lot of times it might be, but it shouldn't be right now. If you go back and forth and you get the seller to accept your offer eventually after a little bit of negotiation, at that point you have what's called an accepted offer. In your accepted offer, you're going to have subjects. Typically we're seeing them anywhere from 7 to 10 days, 2 weeks on the longer side. Land is tied up for a couple months sometimes. So let's just say this is for a house or a condo, residential real estate. So once you have an accepted offer, that means the ball is in your court. No other person can buy that home. They can put what's called a backup offer, but they don't get that. That doesn't kick in until you decide if you go for it or not. If you walk away from it, they can go for it. And so when you have your contract tied and accepted offer, ball is in your court. That's when you get your financing, the final approval, do your inspection, read all the documents. If it's a condo, there's a lot of documents for a house too, property disclosure statement, things like that. So when you're buying, you have an accepted offer, ball's in your court. No one else can get the contract or the home, let's call it. And you can walk away if you have subjects on it. So what those subjects do is they protect you. And really, like, long story short, if you have one subject, you have 1,000. Like, you're protected. A subject means you can walk away, not for any reason like in the world, but if you got subject to inspection and the inspection goes well, but the home just still doesn't feel right, you can technically walk away from it. So meaning you have an accepted offer as a buyer, no one else can get the home until you decide what you're going to do with it, whether you firm up on it or you walk away from it before subject removal. Now for sellers and having an accepted offer, it's the complete opposite. So if you're a seller and someone makes an offer on your home, you negotiate back and forth, you accept their offer. Their offer has subjects. Let's call it 7 days this time. Within those 7 days, the ball is in the buyer's court. You as the seller, you have to comply. You got to let them in for inspection. There might be a bank appraiser coming by. You want to let them in. So you want to make it work, but really they do have the option of going through with it before the subject removal date, or walking away from it if they decide something didn't work, or if the bank didn't sign off, or if the documents didn't read well, or if they just felt uncomfortable with it. So that's why we're going to have a whole other blog about this, but that's why the inspection, you got to treat it like a second showing. You got to treat it, you got to make it look better than the open house, better than the first time they saw it, because that's another time for them to spend a lot more time in the home. So when you're a seller, you have an accepted offer, ball is in the buyer's court for the most part. You do got to comply and help them gain access and things like that. So, and then if they decide they can go through with it or not on the subject removal date, then you'll know where you stand. The other thing you can do, as we talked about for buyers too, is you can get backup offers. So let's say that buyer you're not really trusting, they're getting a little flaky, and on subject removal date, they're like, we want a 2-day inspection. If you've got a backup offer in place, you can then decide if you want to extend them or not. So it puts you in a pretty strong position. So backup offer is always good to have in place. Most buyers don't want to put a backup offer in. They usually want to wait to see if it comes back because they get a little emotionally invested. But they are good to approach if you're a seller. Tell your realtor to try to get one if you can, because it'll put some pressure on the current buyer to go through with it as well. Thanks for watching the video today. We hope you liked it. If you do have certain topics you want us to cover or questions, please email us or hit us up on our social media. We're always going to be posting new content, and we'd love to hear from you and post stuff that you're actually wanting to hear. Subscribe below if you want to get the updates on when the new videos do come out, or better yet, follow us on social media. We've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're always posting relevant content on there, and we'll keep you up to date when new videos come out as well. All right? Thanks, guys.